In this chapter, we'll be talking about social and emotional development in middle childhood. Since we're talking about social development, let's start with Erikson. According to Erikson, the psychological conflict of middle childhood is industry versus inferiority. And this conflict is resolved positively when children develop a sense of competence at useful skills and tasks. In industrialized nations, and increasingly in developing regions, the beginning of formal schooling marks the transition to middle childhood. Here, children discover their own and others' unique capacities, and they also develop a sense of moral commitment and responsibility. The negative outcome of this stage is inferiority. This is having a lack of confidence in the ability to do things well. So when someone is feeling inferior, they have this sense of pessimism, this lack of confidence in their own ability to do things well. We see that negative responses from family and teachers and peers can contribute to negative feelings. So what are some things that we could do as family members, teachers, or even peers to help promote individuals to develop this sense of industry? Well, one of the things that we can do is praise the process. So let me give you an example. When your child, for example, completes a homework assignment, instead of saying, wow, I'm really proud of you for getting an A on that homework assignment, think about reframing it and praising the process rather than the outcome. So rather than saying, I'm proud that you got an A, saying, I'm proud of all the hard work I saw you putting into that assignment. This will help really promote that sense of industry. So Erikson's sense of industry combines a positive but also a realistic self-concept. So children here, they feel proud in their accomplishments. They also feel this sense of moral responsibility. And they also feel that they can cooperatively participate with their own classmates, with their peers. Maybe you guys can also spend some time thinking about tasks that you did in middle childhood that kind of helped you develop this sense of industry versus inferiority. So, for example, if you were ever on sports teams, maybe it seems like it's around middle childhood when children start to get more confident in certain sports and they start to not like other sports. So it's really in middle childhood where they start to fuel their passion for their different interests. Maybe it's not a sport, maybe it's a hobby, maybe it's another type of activity. But it's really here where children are figuring out, well, what am I good at? And they're pursuing what they're good at. So in order to support this, teachers, parents, they can work to praise the process. Carol Dweck has done some really amazing research on this idea of praising the process. So she talks about the difference between a growth versus a fixed mindset. So in her research, a growth mindset would be the type of thinking that intelligence, for example, is not just a fixed trait, but rather it's something that you can develop with hard work. Whereas a fixed mindset is going to be more like, well, intelligence is just something that you're born with. So I have an example of where I see growth versus fixed mindsets often. In the past, when I've taught statistics, students often come in with a very fixed mindset when it comes to statistics. I mean, I hear all the time, well, I'm not good at math. I'm not math-minded. I'm just not a math person. This is really reflective of a fixed mindset. A growth mindset, on the other hand, would be indicative of someone saying, well, you know what, I didn't do well on this assignment, but I can do better. So some ways that I personally try to promote a growth mindset is by allowing people to do revisions on their work in some of my classes. So this idea that the more work that you put in, the better you can become, kind of. So letting people do revisions, making corrections on things. I try to do this as a way to promote that idea of growth mindset. So I'd really like you to watch this Carol Dweck video. It's a really amazing video, and her research is really incredible.